How's it going, guys? Malagant here. We're going to be checking out the sneaky patch that just came out. The patch is 1.1.1, and this is like we have about like I think 36 hours or something to Forgotten Gods right now, so nobody was expecting a patch like this. Um, Major new features, melee combat animations have been updated, feel more responsive and snappy. In some cases, the hit call occurs slightly faster than before, but overall animation timings remain the same as before, and this change has no impact on the speed of the attacks. That sentence stays the same, improved blending on range combat animations. This part is my favorite, improved weapon trails visible during weapon attacks, particularly with magic weapons. Now, we can check out some of the animations. Like, as you can see, the trail is like much more visible now. The two-hander attack is looking this way. We can check out like a single hand. The trail is looking awesome. Again, it was definitely not this visible before. The animation is looking very cool as well. We can try and attack with like a dual-wield guy. If you want, we can also attack him into these things as well. Let's take the rings out. There's just too much clutter, I think. Yeah, the animations, like, it is usually very hard to tell like how the animations are different, if any. They have been updated. They are supposed to be feeling more responsive. To be honest with you, this is one of the more responsive games in the first place when it comes to like melee animations. Obviously really glad about this. It is very good. It's hard for me to tell if I can like feel the difference or not. I think I'm gonna need to play a little bit to understand. But that being said, the trail stuff I am definitely really digging it, you guys. Now onto the tech stuff. They have fixed some of the crashes. That is very good news, obviously, and they have also added an option for us to like add this command right over here into the launch options on Steam. You can right click Grim Dawn on Steam and go to the launch options and write exactly this, and your game will always be launching on 64 bits version from that moment. A couple of bug fixes over here. A couple of like itemization changes. I'm not going to be touching those because not only I don't necessarily know every single item by heart, but also, you know, it would take a very long time for me to like go to the database and do that. But we are going to be actually checking the devotion changes in depth once again. And to be honest with you, I will try and summarize what is going on over here. There has been a massive buff to health regeneration. It was rather very underwhelming, you guys, before. So I do hope that this is going to be at the very least a lot more valuable than before, so that like people can sort of like consider taking these health regeneration nodes. Which health regeneration nodes are we talking about? So even if you had a character that is building all the way up to Tree of Life, someone was always capable of like ignoring this node, for instance, just because, you know, you already got the healing rain. You're like, should I click this, or maybe I need some stun resistance? I'm just gonna click the stun resistance. So maybe this time, this node right over here is going to be a lot more valuable. And this is not only for, you know, Tree of Life. One of the most buff constellation is the Behemoth. In fact, the Giant's Blood all over buff. Every single rank, I think it is stronger. Both heal and the health regen. Every single node is different now. It gives constitution, health regeneration percentage bonus. This used to be like 25 or something. If I'm not mistaken, actually our Grim Tools is right now out of date, so we can cheat and check the old versions. So it used to be like 25% over there, 5% HP over here, and then we had like plus 22. If you remember those numbers, we have plus 30 with the constitution bonus, 80 armor. We are going to be talking about the armor upgrades as well soon. And then we also have 50% instead of 25%. So like a massive bonuses to Behemoth. And now, in my opinion, it's 100% worth. If you're going for Behemoth, at the very least, if you're going for Giant's Blood, it's 100% worth completing the entire thing. Behemoth at the same time is a very good affinity, you know, completion bonus. It is giving back like 3 green and 2 red. I'm pretty sure like tomorrow on the stream I'm going to be, you know, respecking out of some of the things, and I'll just like complete and get my affinity colors from this instead. For sure, it is ridiculous, especially this node right over here, 5% health, 80 armor. It is ridiculous. Now, there has been a couple of Constellation that has been like very small buffs, like Jackal and Lion. They have like 2% physical resistance each now. Thanks to this, I already had Jackal in the Spellbreaker that I'm playing right now. I have 2% more physical resistance. That was really good news. The hammer, actually, the first node of the hammer is one of the tier 1 constellations, is actually giving 20 armor as well. Now, if you pay attention, there's a lot of armor upgrades, you guys. And these are not necessarily nodes that used to give armor and now they are giving more. No. Actually, we spoke about this before. Like with the Forgotten Gods, they're adding these armor nodes into the new constellations. Now we even have like more nodes all over the place, and I really like this change. So Lone Watcher has it, you know, the Hammer has it, now Dire Bear is increasing it more, the Behemoth has it, and we can continue. There's probably even more, you know. And the reason behind this is that just thanks to this, the characters are going to be able to, you know, choose between a light armor or a heavy armor breastplate, or like, you know, the pants or like the gloves. You're probably understanding what I'm saying. It will be a little bit more flexible. Think about it this way. Some characters have like low health gain from their masteries, or like from their skills. Sometimes you don't necessarily have skills remaining anymore. What do? You go back to the constellations, you try to like fix your HP a little bit, right? The same thing can be said for like offensive ability, defensive ability. But for the armor, it was almost never there. I'm saying almost because there was always this like massive node right over here, the obelisk. That used to be even more ridiculous than this. It was 300 armor before. I have went for this like multiple times, just because like my character wasn't necessarily having enough armor. Now I have so many more options, and this is, like, to be honest with you, one of the best changes. Quickly checking if there's anything else that I would like to talk about over here. There are a couple of like buffs to the procs, like the Giant's Blood, as we talked about in the Behemoth. The cooldown is reduced apparently. The health regeneration is scaling better with the ranking. Increase physical damage scaling with rank from the mole as well. And the tip to scales from Scales of Ultima. Increase vitality damage scale with the rank as well. The turtle shell has been buffed as well. Once again, 2 seconds reduced on the cooldown part of it. Where is the turtle shell? Let's see. Over here it says 18, so I'm guessing inside the game it will be 16 now. What is going on? 48-second skill recharge. Is it because like it is level 1, you guys? Yeah, I really hope that is the case. 48 seconds skill recharge. This is a very interesting one. The Wayward Soul added armor bonus. We can talk about the chariot. Like I have taken, and I have even taken the chariot right now with my Spellbreaker. Just dropped it today actually. So it doesn't have it anymore. I dropped it right before this patch. Now I'm considering to pick it up again. No, not necessarily, but the problem with the chariot is the fact that like building up to the proc, like the proc isn't necessarily so bad. It has like a very good uptime, especially since it's capable of like scaling with your cooldown reduction as well. If I'm not mistaken, inside the game my Wayward Soul was like only 12 seconds downtime. Now it's about like 17 seconds. Is that because I don't have an offhand? It's entirely possible. Let me see. Yeah, 14 seconds over here. I can lower this even further, to be honest with you. That's pretty cool. But the problem with the chariot usually is the fact that, guys, like the build up is very low, like paying off. You know what I mean? Like, so the good parts are the proc. Maybe this node is okay as well. Obviously, 4% offensive ability is okay-ish. And then another good part is that like the affinity completion bonus It's good colors, definitely good colors, but while going for this, you're actually committing 5 points to almost nothing. Like, obviously, almost is mandatory to say there, but very questionable, you guys. So what they tried to do over here is that like Wayward Soul is actually giving you armor as well while it is up. It is 130 armor. It ranks 17, so I'm guessing it's gonna reach about like what, 145, maybe 150, something like that. Um, so instead of buffing the way, it is actually a stronger proc now. It is very curious. I'm not necessarily sure like what to think about this. That's also why I talked about it this much. It's going to be something that I'm going to be, I'm gonna have to consider. We'll see. But in my opinion, it's a good change, of course. But I think I would have much preferred if like these nodes were like just a little bit more valuable instead of that armor rate doesn't necessarily need to be there. I think the proc was strong enough. That was my point to begin with. Now, couple of changes to like soldier over here. The blade arc is scaling just a little bit better. It's an underwhelming ability. I think I've almost never played blade arc simply because I don't necessarily like the bleed all that much. The bleed is again very underwhelming against like especially undead creatures in this game. I really don't want to have a character that is like let's say very weak against like a 30% of the game or something like that. I'm very sorry if you have a bleed character and if it's working wonders for you. Uh, this was the whole reason that I didn't necessarily want to theorycraft. I'm not necessarily saying it's a shit build at all. So now Blade Arc is scaling about like 15% at maximum rank and at the ultimate rank. I think this used to be like 175. This used to be like 135. Now they're like 15% higher. The laceration increases. This is probably the modifier, right? Undo this. Go to soldier. Yeah, laceration. Okay. Laceration increase physical damage scaling with the rank 65 on 12, 145 at maximum ultimate. Reduce critical damage scaling with rank 35. That's interesting. 50% and ultimate. What was it before? So it was 60% before, now it is 50%. Just a little bit less crit. Increase damage absorption scaling with the rank to 15% on the menhir. But it is a menhir's bulwark, right? It's not this one. Look at me search for like a shield. I've never played shields. Well, Oathkeeper is going to be changing that. 18% at the ultimates. Now it is 20%. How about we compare this to Arcanist? 22, 25%. I've never managed to like. I have so many Arcanist characters. I had so many of them. I only have one remaining right now. Feels bad, man. But I've never managed to sit on 22. I think the highest I have ever managed to come was like either 20 or 21. I'm actually not sure. I'll for sure make a case with 22 and Forgotten Gods. I'll make it. I believe in myself. That's a good change, very good change for the men here because most of the time, like I've never played with men here before. Even when I had a shield character, which was the Death Knight for the YouTube, I've actually considered taking something else. I really did consider it. It was the exclusive from the Necromancer. So the Demolitionist has some buffs as well. The cooldown of the Blast Shield is like 12 seconds now instead of 13 if I'm not mistaken, in fact. Yeah, it used to be 13, now it's 12 seconds. The Fire Retaliation is much stronger than before on it right now. I think it's about like 170 on this, like 300 or something on this. Like it's much more stronger. But Blast Shield, like I've talked about this before, I can repeat it over here again. Like I think Blast Shield should be just a little bit more reliable of a proc. That is all I want from crates. Like 60%. Like if I'm gonna put some points into this, I really don't want to drop down to 60% to be able to, you know, use these points to begin with. Like, let it be like at the very least 70, maybe 75, something like that, so that I can take a little bit of damage and get the value out of my points. You know what I mean? Especially if it's going to be like buffing my damage, like retaliation. Right now it is, because like retaliation is getting some very interesting changes in Forgotten Gods, where like you will be able to get the retaliation on top of your attack as a damage. Mortar Trap, someone is now invincible to all damage. Thermite Mine, someone is now correctly invincible to all damage. And Hellfire Mine, increased percentage chaos resistance reduction scaling with the rank, 40% at 12 and 50% at the ultimates. Playing with like chaos damage is very interesting in this game. Like I've tried it multiple times, but added Aether resist reduction. That is very interesting. The Hellfire Mine. So this thing right here is actually, we cannot check it from the game. This thing right here is actually going to be minus Aether as well. And on the ultimate ranks, it was saying 50%. Minus 50% Aether resistance on the Thermite Mine. That is insane. I very much like this. Very much like this. There's another very big change right over here, guys. Instead of like fire and lightning from the Thermite Mine, now it's going to be complete elemental minuses. So as you can see in the flame chat, it says like minus 10% fire and lightning. This is like complete elemental reduction right now. That is very big as well. So it's going to be like unlocking for like an elemental build instead of just fire and lightning in this part. Very good change. Nightblade Blade Spirit, this is a very good change as well. The Blade Spirit reduced cooldown to 5 seconds. Like how it was going on is basically like Blade Spirit is already invincible. It literally cannot die. It says so in the description if I'm not mistaken. Maybe in Grim Tools it does. Let me see. Undo the class, go to Nightblade, Blade Spirits, Blade Spirits attributes invincible. Inside the game, was I like blind? I didn't see it or something? Okay, it just doesn't say anything apparently. It doesn't say like HP or anything, but it doesn't say invincible either inside the game. Fair enough. So my point was going to be like, you can summon 2 of these Blade Spirits. You summon one of them and you used to wait like 10 seconds or something, maybe even a little bit longer. Now you don't necessarily need to wait that long. You can just like put 2 of them instantly, almost just 5 seconds of a downtime that you're waiting in between. That's okay, like that's just an okayish, you know, quality of life improvement in my opinion. Necromancer raised skeletons, increased percentage pet attack damage bonus for the skeletal made spells. So the skeletal mages, cute little mages are buffed pretty much. I like it. Will of the Craft increase the base vitality damage by 2 and increases scaling at the ultimate ranks as well. This is pretty good change as well if I'm not mistaken. Let's check what this is. So 2 vitality damage, and at the ultimate rank it was 36. Now it is going to be 45. That's actually pretty big. 9 damage over there, and at this very side it's going to be 2. Yeah, I really like this. So the little skeletons, they're buffed actually. Especially the vitality part of them. I like it. So this is going to be the ending from me. Um yeah, I wanted to make this like a lot shorter. Look at me 20 minutes again. Okay. Goodbye guys. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.